Hey, my still standing friend. It's Di, and welcome to the Still Standing podcast. This space was created for women who have lived through a chapter that she would have never chosen and is still trying to figure out who she is on the other side of it. So take a breath, settle in, and step into your own shoes. I can't wait for you to hear this episode. Today I'm talking about the first time I met my biological mom and siblings, and how a family album turned into a full-blown identity scavenger hunt for me. Because apparently, I did not walk into that meeting with inner peace. I walked in looking for noses and eyes and mouths, and one tiny clue that said, "Yes, ma'am, you are in the right room." When I met my biological mom and siblings, I did not know what to expect. I was nervous, not a cute nervous, not a first date kind of nervous, not a hope my hair behaves kind of nervous. Well, maybe I was thinking that a little bit, but this was a polite nervous. Sit straight up, the kind where you act very calm on the outside while your insides are basically running laps in sensible shoes. My biological mom brought a photo album, a whole album, not just one picture or two, a full family history situation where pages and corners and years were tucked inside. And as she started turning the pages and pointing out people in the family who I was related to biologically, I realized something almost immediately, that I was not looking at the photos in the way she wanted me to, and also the way that most people look at photos. I was not thinking, "Oh, look at that birthday party. Look how cute she looks." Or I'm not admiring the holiday outfits. I'm not studying the furniture in the background, although I did notice that a little bit to see if it kind of was on spot to what we had as I grew up. I could have done that. No, I was on a scavenger hunt. Yep, a face scavenger hunt. I was looking for familiarity. Did my brother look like me when I was little? Did my sister have my eyes? Do I have my biological mom's nose or maybe my dad's mouth? Was there a chin situation happening? A forehead? Anything? A finger? I was flipping through someone else's family memories while quietly trying to answer a question my face had been asking my whole life. Who did I look like? And at first, I did not see it. Honestly, I didn't see myself looking like anyone. Aunt, uncle, no one. Which is a very weird feeling when you're sitting with people who are supposed to be biologically connected to you, which has happened to me for the first time in my life. And at one point, my brain whispered, Diane, are you in the right room? Because when you're adopted, resemblance can become this quiet little mystery. Other people grow up hearing, "Oh, you have your mother's eyes," or "You smile just like your dad." Meanwhile, you are over here with your own face like, "Great, I guess I have mine." At the younger ages in those photos, the resemblance felt elusive. It was like one of those magic eye pictures from the 1990s where everyone else sees the sailboat and you're still staring at the dots, pretending you see it because you're tired of being the only one who can't see it. But as the pages turned, it started to click a little more. Not dramatically. There was no choir, no spotlight, no angelic, "There she is." More like a soft, quiet, okay, maybe. There was an aunt who might have looked like me the most. Did she give birth to me? I don't think so. I think it was a stretch at the time, but I was willing to squint emotionally. In present day, my sister and I do look similar, so I know I have the right peeps. We also both bite the inside of our lip when we get nervous or bored, which is either genetics or a very specific family hobby that no one warned me about. That meeting was the only time I ever met my biological mom. And it wasn't really a meeting. I know I'm calling it that. We did meet at a really nice place in Ohio that was a park, and we got to sit down and talk and have dinner, and it was beautiful. My biological dad had passed away a few years before Ohio had unsealed the adoption records. But once I had my original birth certificate in hand, everything started happening so fast. Within an hour of Googling, I found my biological family. His obituary listed the names of the people. Facebook filled in the gaps, and there I was, watching the internet hand me pieces of my own history like, here you go. We found your mystery. And would you like to see an ad for patio furniture? It's amazing and slightly unsettling how quickly the internet can open a door that you've wondered about for years. Later, I did go to my biological mom's funeral, and the extended family, we'll call them the secret keepers, the ones that had believed that I did not survive, looked at me like they were seeing a ghost. And in a way, they were. Not a spooky ghost, more like a plot twist with mascara and good shoes, even at the funeral. But still, I understood the look. Because for them, I was not just a person walking into the room, I was a story they thought had ended. I was proof that the ending that they had been telling everybody was not the whole ending. And for me, there was proof that my beginning had more pages than I'd been able to read. But here's the part I want to say clearly. Finding my biological family did not change who I was. I was afraid of that for so long and opening Pandora's box. Not that I had the opportunity to until Ohio released those records, but I was always afraid of what I would find. But it did not replace my life, and it didn't erase the family that had raised me. It didn't rewrite my story into something clearer or simpler or wrapped in a big red bow, because please, life does not do bows. Life does tangled cords in a junk drawer. What it did was add context. It answered questions my face had been quietly asking my whole life. It gave me a fuller picture. Not a replacement picture, but just a fuller picture. Sometimes people assume that searching for your biological family means something is missing. And sometimes, yes, there are missing pieces. And there were. I didn't have anybody that looked like me. That was concerning for me as I grew up and got married and contemplating having kids. But sometimes you're not searching because your life is empty. Sometimes you're searching because you're finally ready to understand the whole picture. And that timing was perfect. Sometimes you're not looking to become someone else. You're looking to understand more of who you are. And sometimes looking at someone else's photo album helps you finally see yourself. Now, I still never saw myself in any of those pictures. Looking at the kids or the family, it was a stretch for me. But I was grateful that she brought the history of the family to me to share. And she probably didn't realize what I was looking for. So that moment taught me that answers do not always arrive dramatically. I didn't open the photo album and see my sister or brother looking exactly like me, um, and thinking, aha, there it is, mystery solved. It wasn't dramatic like that. It also taught me that context is powerful. Context does not have to cancel what came before. It just can simply help you understand it. It can give names to questions. It can soften old confusion. And it can say, there's more to the story than you knew. And of course, I found out more about my family over time, before and after that day of meeting. So for anyone who's ever searched for where they belong, in a family, in a room, in a relationship, maybe a season of life, I think there's something very human about wanting to see a piece of yourself reflected back. So what does this mean for you? Because I always have to ask that. Maybe your photo album is not literal. Maybe your photo album is a conversation you finally have, a record that you finally read, a memory you finally let yourself revisit, or a truth that you finally are strong enough to hold. You do not have to blow up your whole life to seek understanding. You don't have to reject one chapter to read another one. And you're allowed to want the full picture. And if that full picture is complicated, welcome to the club. We meet emotionally, usually near coffee, and someone always forgets the password. So what part of your story are you ready to understand more fully? Not because your life is missing something, but because you are ready to see the whole picture. So before we close, if this story brought something up for you, a question, a memory, a little, oh wow, I get that kind of moment, I created the Still Standing World for exactly that kind of messy middle. You can start with a free 10-day Still Standing reset. If life's kind of a little too lifey right now, you can take the Still Standing quiz to see where you are in the rebuilding season. Or just explore the courses, the meditations, and anything else that you want. The support is there, and the practical tools for the chapter you did not exactly RSVP to. You find that all plus more in the Step Into My Shoes here.com. Thank you so much for spending the time with me on Still Standing with Diane Six. I do not take it lightly that you press play, especially when life already has you juggling 47 different things, one missing charger, and possibly a school email that has already ruined your day. This podcast really does feel like an extension of the whole Still Standing community. The stories, the laughs, and the, oh, thank God it's not just me moments. And the reminder that life can split wide open. And somehow here we are, still standing, still slightly annoyed, but standing. If this episode made you laugh, think, tear up, roll your eyes in recognition, or at me, text a friend who needs to hear this. I would love for you to stay connected. Don't forget to leave a quick review. It makes a huge difference, and it helps this show reach more people. especially the ones walking through a chapter they did not choose, and needing a little humor and honesty and proof that they're not doing this all alone. Until next time, take a breath, put one foot in front of the other, and remember, life splits, but you can still stand. Bye now.